artista na nagtutour sa New York at nag-hail ng taxi cab at sinabi niya dun sa driver, how can I get to Carnegie Hall? At sinabi ng driver, practice, practice, practice. At yan po ang ginawa ng ating panauhin ngayong hapon, Kababayan Pride Nove. Before we meet him, watch him. It is my honor to introduce you to the first Filipino ever to conduct at the Carnegie Hall in New York, ating Kababayan Pride Nove, Day Palan. Hello and welcome to Kababayan LA.
Thank you for having me here, Janelle. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is rare that we hear of Filipino conductors. So tell us your story. How did you get into this?
I got in actually when I was very young, back in Victoria City in Negros Occidental. I started in a group rondalia before I was playing one of these 14-string instruments, and through that, and my sister introduced me to choral singing or the making of music, and I always mesmerized by the conductor. How do they make this beautiful sound with so many singers? So my curiosity started from that point, and eventually I just decided, you know, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
And I like the word that you use, mesmerizing, because when I watch musical pieces, musical performances, I am always drawn to the conductor, because I guess every point comes from the conductor. You make it look so easy when you wave your hand, your arms like that, but in reality, there's a lot of tricks and process and practice that is involved. Tell us about that.
Well, in my case, I have to really analyze my music, and the harmonic language of the piece is, I can only do my gestures based on my study, on the score. From that, then I have to conceptualize what will be an effective conducting gestures. So that's how...
Ano ba yung mga conducting gestures? Kasi di ba nakikita natin yung gumaganyan-ganyan, but it's not just the arms, sometimes the body too, and that's why it's so, I would say also attractive to watch conductors, no? Kasi you give your all into it. Parang you get lost in the music, right?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, a few months ago, there was an interview of all musicians, orchestral musicians in the United States. And they were asking the musicians, what are you looking for a conductor? And everybody did something, the gestures, the expression, but one thing that they're looking for is the sincerity. That means if a conductor walks within 10 seconds to conduct an orchestra, they can tell right away. They can smell fear.
Yeah. I heard that also before. Pag tayo pa lang ng conductor from his seat, papunta dun sa, do you call that like a podium?
Yes,
or, yeah?
yes.
Eh, dun ginajudge na sila if you're really a good conductor.
Correct.
So what kind of training did you have to undergo to be an effective conductor?
I think really the study of the score is the one thing that
Do you go to school for that? Do you get a degree for conducting?
Yes. At the same time, there's some great conductors that are naturally born. In my case, I believe so that I have a talent, but I have to support it with the academia training.
Pagka ganyan ba, are there philosophies behind that? Is it more, because I'm thinking, I mean, how can you, I would guess that what you would do is study a lot of pieces and then I guess practice and practice and practice until you get it right.
Correct.
But meron bang mga philosophies behind it? May science ba behind it?
Absolutely. For example, your gesture, for example, that here and there gesture makes a lot of difference. If you conduct with that gesture, for example, that means it's from loud to soft. So everything is very specific.
Right.
If you do this, there's a crescendo that you can sense.
Right.
If there's a note that has to be very piano, then your gesture has to be coincide with the music that you will be conducting. So,
how interesting.
Yes.
So is there, I would guess, because it's like that, plus it's the interpretation of the piece, I would guess that it will depend on your mood as well. So may mga instances ba na parehong song, but you conduct differently?
Correct.
Yeah?
Yes, it has to be, again, whatever the intention of the composer. That is my number one. Whatever the composer intended to create, my job is to recreate that music.
Have there ever been a point where sinabi mo, ayoko na itong ginagawa ko? Because, you know, as a conductor, I guess there's not too many because it's not a very popular career in the Philippines. Orchestra music is not really something that we Filipinos appreciate or appreciated in the past. Now, I think there's a growing popularity, but not as much as before.
Never, never. I never lose sight of my dream to become a conductor.
And
I
guess,
still love it. I still love it.
What do you love about it?
Bringing the music to its life. You know, I was taught that there are four concepts of making music: the composer, the conductor, the musicians, and the audience.
Okay.
No one will survive without the other. If a conductor without the musicians and the rest, what I'm going to do? I cannot conduct glasses or chairs.
Right. So how was it like performing in Carnegie Hall? No less. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
And thank you for making us proud.
Thank you so much.
How was it like?
It was very. The process was, of course, I'm always nervous during the process and in my own way in the studio and practicing. But to stand there and perform, I don't think of anything else except for the music of the composer. And one thing that's most significant about this at Carnegie Hall, the composer, Mandy Fong, was present in the audience. So.
Wow. So double pressure.
Correct.
Okay, very quickly. Ano na raw, overtime na raw tayo. But it's so interesting, really, and I'm so proud to meet you. It is such an honor. What's next for you? Where can we catch you?
Well, I'm here for two reasons. One, I'm preparing for my dissertation. I'm studying here in LA. It's spring break. At the same time, I am preparing the San Gabriel choir. This is our 15th year anniversary to perform for the Pope. So preparing them for this event in January 2013.
Oh, I would love to watch that. In the meantime, that's the website on the screen. Get to know more about Nove and all his schedule. Everything is there, and you will be blown away, even with just the music as well. Thank you so much. More power. God bless. And here he is.